agrees with me, and that's what cost her the election. But it was not a small issue that the #1 ad that they ran was on this, and the polling indicated that this was the one that worked the best. And there's other things, guys. We said there was real crime.
They're talking about the ad that Trump put out where she's for they, them. Donald Trump is for you.
Yeah, it was a strong message.
That's the ad that was the most popular.
Most received,
Yeah.
Every leftist screamed, there's no crime, it's in your imagination. Well, and they claim to represent Democratic voters. Then here in California, we had Prop 36, anti-crime bill. In California, not Alabama. In California, it passed with 70% of the vote. I told you that Democratic voters do not agree with extreme leftists. They care about crime and they don't want to pay for these surgeries, et cetera, et cetera. The polling shows I'm true. The elections show I'm overwhelmingly correct. But I guarantee you the reaction to this debate by every leftist online will be, how dare he? He's a monster. It's all his fault. And oh my God, we should double down and quadruple down. And we should, there is no crime. He's helping their framing. Well, okay, 70%. The Democratic voters are definitively on my side, both on economic populism like Medicare for all and on these social issues. We're not.
That's really funny, because he's right.
Yeah, that's why he won, because he has more ground than Kamala did.
They keep saying, well, the economy is great. Just look at the numbers. I don't give a fuck about the numbers.
Nobody gives a fuck about the numbers when they can feel it in their pockets.
Right. So you can say it all day and then call us stupid, but you don't live with us.
It's
we see our reality.
Literally kicking us and then saying, I'm not kicking you. Kick. I'm not kicking you. Kick. You ever had a brother? I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. That's what they're doing. But with your pockets. Sorry, I wasn't trying to go too hard.
And then they say that the, what was the other thing he said?
There's no crime.
Oh, no, there's no crime. Crime is down.
Not according to the left. Not at least the regular left. That's why they're voting to stop crime. Because they know it's up.
Now they're voting to stop crime because they realize that the rules they had in place before weren't working too well.
And that people were lying to them and saying, no, it's fine.
Surprise, surprise. People took advantage of loopholes you gave them.
Not surprising.
And it's always going to be the bad people who take advantage. When you create loopholes for bad people to get away with bad things that could create victims in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Victims that never needed to be victims in the first place.
Yeah.
But you allowed it to happen with your empathy and sympathy.
Bleeding hearts, right?
Completely destructive. Mm-hmm.
We're not saying abandon trans people. We're not saying lock up people that didn't do anything wrong or that smoked a joint. We're saying nobody said to take domestic assault and turn it into a misdemeanor. What the hell are you defending that for? Are you nuts? That's an injustice. And Democratic voters don't want it, let alone Republican voters. So you guys can keep emphasizing. I'm not the one emphasizing, I'm the one saying get past it. And every left-wing show online is like, don't get past it, don't get past it. Talk about this for months and months and months until we lose every goddamn election.
I don't think it's like a totally fair characterization of how people are responding to that topic or how they should engage with it. I think what's important is the context with what he was talking about was that she lost because of the extreme left and those three issues that he laid out, which is not true. This guy has worked on 2 campaigns that ran against Trump. He lost both of them. He certainly knows losing, but he does not know how to win. And when you think about what motivates him to say it, it's much easier to scapegoat progressives and the left. And as he threw in later in a jab at Bernie Sanders, Senator Sanders and like maybe progressives in the squad, it's easier for him to scapegoat those policies, those people, that voting bloc, rather than look inward. Because to do that, he would find fault with himself, find fault with the donor class, and ultimately it would shake up and change the paradigm of how people within the party view the party. They're unwilling to do that because they are beholden to corporate interests. On that, we agree. But the thing is, ultimately, at the end of the day, you stand up for these things because it's the right thing to do, not because they're popular. And like you gained ground on marriage equality and gay rights, it might be a similar and long fight, but you shouldn't abandon it or throw them away or throw them under the bus like Harris did simply because it's politically expedient now.
Okay,
Talking about trans people.
I don't remember a single time when Harris threw them under the bus. She used them as a political gain, and she got most of their votes, and they lost because she used them as a pawn. She didn't like throw them under the bus though. She used them as like the pedestal of what she was running for.
That, and she's a strong black woman, and Donald Trump is bad, save democracy.
I don't understand where this dude's coming from.
I don't either.
okay, so you're okay with losing the election because you want to fight for those issues. I mean, you just said
He
it.
already lost. That's
Okay,
not what
all
I
right.
showed you the data. No one cares. No one cares. It's the last ranking issue.
You're delusional.
Remember when I said that they're saying the economy is good? Just look at the numbers. He's doing the same thing right here.
But with the trans issue.
With the trans issue. But look, nobody cares. Nobody cares. The numbers. Bro, you're in your bubble.
Well, that's what happens when you put something out in the front. You cry wolf and you cry wolf and you cry wolf and you realize there's no wolf.
Right. But he says the American people don't care about that issue.
Because it's not a wolf. It's not a problem.
To him,
To him, it's a problem because he doesn't like the idea that we don't want kids to cut their tits off. But it's not a problem. It's not a problem that it was the lowest ranking issue. It's still on the board.
oh yeah, it was an issue that pretty much pushed people over the edge to vote for Trump.
Yes.
So when he says, look at the data, nobody cares.
People care a
Oh,
lot.
they do care a lot. That's why you guys lost, because you're so delusional. You're too busy looking down at the paper instead of looking up and seeing what everybody is going through.
Or what they're doing online that makes them not want to support that community.
Yep. We already lost. Yeah, exactly. You're doing the same thing, expecting a different result. I think that's the definition of insanity.
And you're just screaming about the fact that you lost.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're screaming about the fact that you lost and you're not acknowledging a single thing you did wrong.
Because I think we need to.
Which is the exact definition of crazy. Is insanity is defined as doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. And you're doing exactly that.
I think they like to hear themselves talk.
I know they do.
Whoa, that's a great screen cap right there.
You should save that.
Looks like Mickey Dolenz.
Here, 341.
3 minutes and 41 seconds.
$40 million in ads.
The
You think
economy
no one
was the
cares?
number one issue for people. No one's going in there and be like, I'm mad about trans people, so I'm going to vote for Trump. No one did that.
Oh, yeah, some of them did.
I did because I'm mad about how they're dealing with trans youth, how they're acting like they should medicalize young kids into being transgender. I went in and literally only voted for Trump based on that issue.
Yeah, their ignorance and their arrogance makes them a losing party.
Yes,
That's why people left.
I want to clarify that I literally went in to vote for Trump to prevent some young girl who's like me and is just a lesbian from losing her tits when she's going to want them in the future. That is 120% why I voted for Donald Trump. No other reason. I don't even really care that much about the economy. Yes, I'm feeling it, but I can get past that as long as I can know for sure that there are little girls who are not regretting what they've done to their body. I can sleep at night.
As long as you have a bed to sleep in.
Well, yeah, but that's my point. I will work hard to make whatever I need to make ends meet. No matter what, I will. That's just how life is.
Okay, I get what you're saying now.
However, I can't prevent children transitioning other than by voting for Trump.
I get you.
You're 100% wrong.
The economy,
Tons of
every
people
poll,
100%
every
right.
exit poll said it was the
100%
economy.
right. Okay, at the very end of that ad, which worked spectacularly.
Someone give him a pill?
Cenk is over here just like, and anyways, so we're just gonna move on because you're fucking losing it, buddy.
You know what? I think the Young Turks are very, very bad at hiring LGBTQ people.
Yes.
These two guys are out of their minds. They are not in the middle at all. They are so far progressive, it's ridiculous.
I haven't even heard the other guy yet. I only know this guy so far.
You remember the guy who was like non-binary, and I guess he was like a trans woman. He reminded me a lot of Chris Crocker. Back in the day, they hired a guy like that. I think we watched a video with him in it. And
It was been a while ago now, yeah.
Had the most insufferable laugh. I know someone out there knows what I'm talking about, so please comment that person's name if you know who I'm talking about. But it just proves that they're really, really bad at picking LGBTQ people. Just so arrogant that they it can't get out of their own way. They're not helping anybody or your audience or the Young Turks audience by being this way.
Oh, not even for a second.
Accurately, you guys are denying reality. Every poll showed it worked spectacularly.
Yet no
Okay,
one walked out and told a pollster that's why they voted.
Yeah.
Not a single person.
Yeah, I'm sure. No,
Nobody wants to talk to pollsters. No one
I
wants
told
to
anyone
talk
who'd
to
ask me.
pollsters.
If someone would have asked me, I would have told them, but nobody asked me.
I try to avoid people when I go out. Most Americans do.
Yeah.
So he thinks that most Americans are going to be like, "Hey, Mr. Pollster guy, yeah, I'll tell you all about it." No, they just want to vote and they want to go home.
Yeah.
All right. So just because no one told a pollster doesn't mean no one did it. That's stupid, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
American people loved it, guys. You were right. Oh my God, they loved it. They want you to run on it again. That's such a genius idea.
That's why Trump won.
Okay, so how many times do I have to tell you that was not the number one issue? That was but did it help? Did it help? And besides which, I also don't agree with you guys. I don't think paying for undocumented immigrants surgery is somehow some moral, great, amazing thing that we have to fight for. We have a giant number of issues in America. If they came in and asked for hip replacement surgery, I wouldn't be in favor of it. Why are we dying on a hill? We don't, half of us, not half of us, in terms of Democratic voters, all right, last thing. Can you guys be honest and say most Democratic voters agree with me and not you guys?
Yeah, most Democratic voters agree with me. They want Medicare for all. We just talked about it. We just agree with it.
Jordan,
That would
we
be an
all
extension
agree to
of
that.
it. That'd be an extension of it. So
That
people,
would be an extension of it.
If you're incarcerated, you don't get medical coverage. What do you think Medicare for all is? Does it cover gender affirming care? Because
This guy is out of it, man. Yeah, most people do agree with me. That's not what he asked. You're in your own fucking head. Get out of it.
If I told you I was going to kill myself if I didn't get a Brazilian butt lift, would you give me one? This is the same thing you're fighting your life for. Unnecessary surgeries. Medicare should cover necessities. Does it cover cosmetic surgery? Because as far as I'm concerned, most transition is cosmetic.
You know what they did?
What?
They said that you don't need to be gender dysphoric in order to be trans, but any surgery you get isn't cosmetic, it's gender affirming, which is just another fucktard way of saying cosmetic.
Yes.
So no, it should not be covered.
Yes, that's what
I
I
don't
say.
think it should be covered. If we're going to do this whole gender identity thing, no. Any sort of trans surgery should never be covered under the American, by the American people.
Now, maybe if you would agree that it's a mental health disorder,
But
I
they
could
don't.
I could change my tune a little bit. But if
Right.
you're telling me it's not a mental disorder, then there's no reason we should be covering anyone's transition.
Just because your opinion is it's care, and you're trying to make other people say it, so they believe that it's care.
And I'm just saying
No.
maybe. I'm not saying I would change my tune. I'm just saying maybe I look at it a little differently. Maybe we could cover 10% of the surgery cost and not the whole thing. But as far as I'm concerned, this is cosmetic.
Right. Like your Brazilian butt lift that you desperately need, or
Or
else
I'll
you're going to kill yourself.
Or else I'll unalive myself.
That's butt affirming care.
It's actually gender affirming care because I'm a female, but I feel like my lack of ass is making me not look as feminine as I want to, and therefore
Or Puerto
it is,
Rican enough.
and therefore it is genuinely gender affirming for me and my gender.
And culture affirming.
And I also need liposuction because I feel like my fat makes me look boyish, and so I need to have liposuction in order to look more feminine.
Body affirming care.
Why aren't we covering my liposuction?
This guy's retarded.
because in my world it does.
Okay. God bless you. You run the next election on that. I want the rest of the country to know that the great majority of Democratic voters do not believe in those issues.
Okay, that's the end of the video. Like and subscribe. I hope you had a good time. Join our membership. Subscribe, like, comment below.
Cover my Brazilian butt lift with your tax dollars.
Ass affirming care.